And as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. Over the last several weeks, we've been focused on specific topics, and so there have been other questions that came up, whether they were in your emails or surveys or even in the live chat, that just didn't quite really fit into what we were talking about in that lesson, but I felt like everyone would benefit from the answers. So today's our chance. We're going to clear house. We're going to get to all of the questions that you've had that just didn't quite really have a home anywhere else. So we'll tick through as many of those as possible. If you've got additional questions, throw them in the live chat. We'll try to get through all of the stuff that we can today before we're back on track with a focused topic in the next lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at learnpianolive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And thankfully, I think that's about all we need to cover before the lesson. So if you'd stick around afterwards and fill out the survey, I would love your feedback. But for now, let's have some fun and make some music. Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. For some reason this week, the moderator shot is randomly cutting out. So if she doesn't show up, don't get mad at me. I didn't tell her stop putting yourself in the shot. It's just something funky in the software this week. But Kendra is our moderator.
Guess what?
What?
I got to see this really amazing show called The Four Phantoms,
Yes.
and you were there. It was really amazing.
Yes. I was not in the show.
Right.
I was in the back recording the show.
Right.
Totally legally.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And that's where you got your
Scholarship.
For being
Masters.
awesome music something.
Yay.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
That's what it said. 2 music awesome something.
Real.
I don't know.
Cool? I don't know.
I didn't see the check. I saw the big giant check, but I'm guessing you can't actually cash those.
I really wanted to keep that, but you know what? The real check is what matters.
They write on it. Why wouldn't they give it to you?
Right?
They should.
Yeah. I think it's just because it's like whiteboard marker or something.
Oh, they wipe it off and reuse it?
Yeah, I think so.
Cheaters. Okay. Well, anyway. This is perfect because today's an AMA, and actually you're supposed to stay in for the whole time. But for the other reasons, let's go ahead and try to
right now.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
why not?
Cool.
But you've got questions there that have been submitted ahead of time, and then we'll take any questions in the live chat, and also try to answer all of those, whatever we have time for. Sometimes these are extremely short. Sometimes they're crazy, crazy long. But when I'm done with each question, I will give you the I'm done bell, and you can move on to the next one, and we'll just rapid fire get these out of the way. Go ahead. Question number 1.
Why do some notes have 2 different names?
You should definitely be in for the times when you're asking the questions.
Oh.
Yeah, I think. They want you in for the whole time, but we got to switch it up a little. So, yeah.
Should I ask it again?
Yeah, I don't remember what the question was. I was distracted by the cameras. Go ahead.
Why do some notes have 2 different names?
Because you would end up with that. I'm guessing we're talking about sharps and flats. So like A. We need some keys in here. We'll go.
And then should I?
MIDI
Okay.
and keys. Yeah, you can still stay there, I think. So like that one is an A, that one's a G. So this note right here gets both the name of A flat and G sharp. So then this one has 2 names. and then you would go ahead.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so didn't you tell me the other day, because I asked that same question.
Okay.
You said something about it being like it depends what key it's in.
Yep.
So like if it's in the key of E, then it would be a G sharp.
Right.
But if it's in the key of something else.
E flat, then it'd be an A flat. Yeah, okay, that's because keys are only allowed to have, first of all, you're right to think that it's totally stupid that the same note has two different names. It's absolutely idiotic. It only shows up in music theory classes. I know people who literally don't know the names of any of the notes, and they're monster players. They're incredible players. They could probably be better if they learned the names of the notes. But anyway, they don't. Like, I'll ask them, hey, what key are you in? And they'll be like, in the key of E flat, and they'll tell me something like totally random. Like, hey, I'm in the key of B. Like, you haven't played a B for the whole song. But whatever, they're better than me, so I just look at their hands and figure out that way instead of asking them. So this one right here is called an A flat or a G sharp because in any given major key, you're only allowed to have sharps or flats. You can't have sharps and flats because that gets more confusing when you try to talk about the key. Also, because each key is supposed to have one and only one of each of the letters. So, for example, if we're playing in the key of E, then we're supposed to have an E of some kind, an F of some kind, a G of some kind, an A of some kind, a B of some kind, a C of some kind, a D of some kind, an E of some kind. So we have to have one of each of the letters. Now, the key of E actually goes like this. And that probably sounds familiar to you. Sounds like a do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And so the names of these have to, this one has to be an E of some kind. This has to be an S of some kind. This has to be a G of some kind. This has to be an A of some kind. So then the names of the notes are kind of already given to us in that case. However, so in that case, we call this one a G sharp because that one has to be an E, that one has to be an F, that one has to be a G, and the only way we could name that one with G is G sharp. Okay, but if we play in the key of E flat, we have to call this an E of some kind, and then an F, and a G, and an A, and a B, and a C, and a D, and an E. And so this one ends up having to be an A of some kind. E, F, G, A. So that note right there that we just called G sharp a second ago in the key of E, when we go to the key of E flat, now this one has to be called an A flat because we already used up the letter G for that note, which made sense, and we used up the F for that. So anyway, the key is the right answer. Wow, that seemed like a really long answer for that. So you're right, it's stupid, and also there's perfectly good reasons for it, but it usually shows up in music theory classes and doing your scales and stuff, and not in actual playing of the notes. Hopefully this one will be quicker. Sorry. Go ahead.
Are the subscription boxes just for kids?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I did get this one ahead of time. Yes.
I have a little story to tell when you're all done. Okay.
No, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they'd rather hear your story anyway. Go ahead.
So the subscription boxes are called Little Maestro's Music Club. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't know if any of you have seen that video where Jamin and I talk about it.
Maestros is spelled M-A-E.
S-T-R-O-S or something. Yeah. Okay, so my whole life I've thought it's maestros, like 3 syllables. So even though Jamin told me, like, countless times that it's maestros.
We did like 50 takes on that stupid video.
I know, and I said in the final take, the best one that we got, I said maestros. The 3 syllables. And Jamin was like, oh, no, it's cool. I like it. And I was like, I said it wrong. I thought I was saying it right.
Maestros.
I thought that's how you said it.
The way it is. So littlemaestros.com.
Maestros.
All right. So, no, it's Little Maestro's Music Club.com. I should probably know the name of my own site. So, no, we don't have adult boxes yet because I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even know kids boxes was a thing until like a week and a half ago when some people on the team were like, hey, we have to do subscription boxes. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but sure, let's try it. So, so we're starting with the kids boxes, and as long as that all goes great, then eventually we might do like an adults thing. I'm not entirely sure what would be included in that, but let me know what you think. Obviously, the sheet music, and then other worksheets and charts and stuff like that we could send out. But yeah, send your ideas in for an adult box, since I guess that's a thing too. Next.
Okay, what should I work on next is the question.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, this one is actually, I threw this one in the mix this week because I get asked that all the time in lots of different ways. So what you should work on next is whatever you're excited to play, whatever you wish, you imagine yourself in a couple years, having practiced for a couple years, whatever you imagine yourself playing then is what you should probably start working on now. Now, 95% of you are going to set your goals way too low, and the thing that you like imagine that someday if I could play that, I'd be an incredible pianist is something you can get started on today, and you'll probably, with 6 months of practice, be able to play it well enough to impress your friends very much. But occasionally you'll pick some really crazy piece that actually is really difficult and actually is above your level. And so in that case, we'll get started on that and take off a little bit at a time, but it might actually take you years to learn that piece. So along the way, we'll be working on other things that use those same skills. So the answer is whatever you're excited about, tell me that, and I will get you started on the path to that. In some cases, in most cases, it's actually the whole entire thing, but in some cases, it's just a small little part. So you got to tell me. I can't tell you what you're excited about, so that's the right thing for you to work on next.
Oh. Yeah. I have something to add to that, if that's okay. Okay, so I think that's really cool that, like, with your lessons, you can pick your song, because that's one of the reasons that when I first started coming to you for lessons, that's what I really loved about it, one of the many things. But my friend and I were talking last night on...
I don't pay her extra to be a constant advertisement on my channel, by the way. This is really Kendra. Okay,
it's really, I swear,
it's
yes.
Really Kendra.
It's really
Kendra.
me.
100%. Okay, go ahead.
Because my friend and I were talking last night, like messaging, and he was telling me how he took piano for 4.5 years, but he quit because he couldn't pick his songs.
I know.
So I just thought that was really cool. I should throw that in there.
And there are teachers out there, and they're great teachers, and that's their thing, is they're like, hey, I've got a method, and it works. Show up, and I'll put you in that method, and you're going to end up a great pianist 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road or whatever. So nothing against that. It's just not the right style for everybody. And I think it's unfortunate that people quit and usually like put it on themselves, especially adults. Like you try it, and if it doesn't work out for you, you don't go, well, that teacher probably sucked. I probably just need to find somebody else who is a better match for me, or need to work on some other pieces. You think, oh, well, I'm not talented at this, or this, I'm not whatever programmed right, or whatever excuses you have about why it was your fault, when the truth is you just weren't on the right path, the right part of the path. Anyway.
I have a question for you. So if I look this way or this way, which one makes it look like I'm looking at you?
If I look here away from you, then it looks like I'm pointing right at you.
Wait, but like if I'm looking this way,
and now you're looking away from me.
This way.
There you go.
Okay,
now we're waving at each other.
Yeah,
we can't see each other at all.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is it normal that it takes me months to learn a song and I still can't play it as well as you?
Yep. Actually, yes, absolutely. The more you, just like with language, like the first couple words that you learn take a lot of effort, and you don't know much, and you can't really say anything, and you only have this one stupid sentence. You can only say, hi, my name is Jamin, and that's all you know how to say. And each of those words is like, there's just nowhere else to use it. The more sentences you learn, the more you can combine them, and the easier it is to learn the new sentences, because they are already using the bits and pieces that you learned before. So the same thing is going to be true in music. The more you learn, the faster you're going to learn too. So you're on that, the curve of learning. You're just right there at the bottom, and it just stays like that for, unfortunately, quite a while before like you can start learning things a lot faster. So yeah, a couple months on a song, depending on the length of the song and the complexity of it, that's totally normal. Absolutely. And you what was the last part of the question? Something about playing like me.
What?
Last part of that question.
And I still can't play it as well as you.
As well as me. Nice. Yeah. So I can't. Yeah. Everywhere you are, every level that you are of playing, you're going to be at the same level, which is I'm almost good. You're constantly almost good, or at least I am. Maybe that's my own personality deficiency or something, but like I'm currently like I can see the things that I can't do, and I feel like I'm almost there. It's just a little more practice. I'm gonna be good in just a couple months. And I've just been there for forever, and I've been getting better, but I've just always see that next thing. Oh, I want to be able to do that, and I want to be able to do that. And you never arrive. You got to enjoy the journey. Next.
Okay, so I've forgotten. Did you say that if someone chatted a question that I should say it this time or next time?
Let's clear off all the ones that are already in the queue, and then we'll add those to the end of the queue instead of inserting them in the middle.
So, okay, so I'll just do the next. Okay. What are you looking for in a video submission from me?
Yeah. Okay. The thing that we talked about before, whatever you should work on next, show me any of that. So, I know what this is from. This is from a person watching a video, and then they're like, I don't know what to do on this video, because they're thinking they have an assignment after each of the lessons, because that's the way lessons work. I think I'm with you now. So each of the live lessons doesn't have an assignment. If there's some little piece in here that you like pick up, and you're like, oh, that was interesting, with you use the major 3 chord there, or maybe that was too complicated a concept, or something in there, you're like, oh yeah, I'd like to do that. Then if you're like, that seems really cool, I wish I could practice that, but I don't know what to do on that, then you can let me know, and I can give you an assignment that's specific to that. Or if you can just already think of a place of, I'd like to try that here, then send me a video of that. Even if, and here's the big one, even if you're like, oh yeah, so I did that, so that's it, still send me a video, because there's a good chance that I'm going to see that and go, oh yeah, well, did you know that if you also tweak it this way, then it turns into this thing over here, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff there. So however you're applying this on your own, that's really what I'm wanting to see out of each of the lessons. Or in some lessons, there's not a significant nugget, because they're live lessons. And this is back to the language analogy. Like, this is, if you're learning a new language, just like showing up to the coffee shop and just like hanging out there. And so you're probably gonna hear a bunch of people talk, and you won't understand a lot of what's going on, but every now and then you pick up these little nuggets, and organically you kind of learn the language that way. Sometimes you go to the coffee shop and there wasn't much new there, nothing much interesting happened. So so if that's the case for these lessons, then you wouldn't really have an assignment. But if you find something that you like, then definitely try it on your own and send me a video of that, and that will almost always turn into its whole own other thing that eventually you'll have to get me to shut up about, because I'm going to want to keep on expanding the idea for you. So I think that's, unless you were talking about something entirely different, that's the answer to your question. If it wasn't something entirely different, ask it a different way. Sorry.
Okay, now first I have to ask the people who are watching, did it look good, or did it look okay when I was looking over here?
Oh, high-five me.
Oh,
wait,
like that?
Haha. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually,
cool.
You know what? Let's go ahead and do, because we've been at this for a while, let's do our feature of the day, and then we'll level up and do all the real important questions off of the free stream. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So our feature of the day is
wait, did I do the right one?
You didn't. That's all right. No problem. So
our
feature of the day.
Not...
Hey, it's anharmonic equivalence.
Yay!
It is. So this is actually cool. This is what we just talked about. You already know what anharmonic equivalents are. That's just the fancy word for...
I do?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I know what that means.
No, everybody does, because we just covered it, actually. It's 2 notes that have the same name. So A flat and G sharp.
Oh, that's such a fancy
Those 2 are enharmonic. I'm going to try to break down the words, and I don't know what they mean. Harmonic, meaning harmonies. N, meaning in. I don't know. So harmonically, they are equivalent. They're the same thing. They sound the same. They make the same notes, but same sound, but they have 2 different names. All right.
Now I have a question.
Worst explanation of enharmonic equivalence. Go ahead.
I have a question. It's not about that, but the question was from one of the free stream chats.
Okay.
So should we do it now?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So, has anyone ever picked a song that you ended up suggesting would be better to do a different song?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Cool.
Totally. That happens all the time. Not all the time. No, that happens very, very, very rarely. But because there's always some version of it. So like, we'll take Piano Man. So someone's like, hey, I want to learn how to play Piano Man, but maybe that's too hard. Well, you could play the Billy Joel version. Billy Joel, is that the guy who sang it? Sorry, I don't know. Something like that. But this thing right here, that thing is kind of hard to play. So you could just play a version that just uses, and it's way, way easier. So there's a version of almost every song that you could do. If you wanted to do Piano Man, I'm like, yeah, whatever level you are. Or maybe we just play, or we add them together. I can't do it. something like that. I would find a way to put the melody in there. So there's different levels, wherever you are. You can probably do that song. Where we get into trouble is when people want to do it the right way, as if there is such a thing as the right way for any particular song. Billy Joel doesn't play his song in a way that you would probably want to play it, honestly, because he sings along with it, and so he doesn't do any of the melody. So that getting over that obstacle is sometimes an issue of the right way and all that stuff. But no, in most cases, you come up with a song, and unless it's classical music, and then there is a right way for all that. But everything is not classical music. There's probably a version you can do. All right, enough of that. I think we answered that one. Let's go on to the next level. So sadly, the lesson preview has come to an end, and it's time to say goodbye to everyone watching the free streams. Of course, paying subscribers at learnpianolive.com can continue watching this lesson and several hundred others like it in the archives. So come on over and check us out. And if you like what you saw, at least like and subscribe, and then tell your friends to head on over to learnpianolive.com.